Welcome, this is Ashley with Nell and Joe Crafts, and I am going to be showing you today how to make raised fishbone, specifically for the headband on our shepherds in the nativity hoops. So we're going to be working left to right because I am right-handed and that makes sense in my head. I've got 3 strands of 3781 on my needle, and I'm just tying a knot at the end so we can get started. All right, we're gonna make a little stitch down the center of our headband just to make sure that we don't have any exposed fabric when we're done stitching. So just a little stitch down the center, and now I'm gonna come up on the side line right above the thread. And I'm going to come down across and on the bottom. Whoop, that just pulled right out. Down across and on the bottom edge of the headband. And then we're going to alternate sides. So this time I'm going to come up on the edge just below the first stitch. And so instead of going down, I'm going to go up this time, which is going to be right about here, again on the edge of the line, and then I pull down. And now we alternate again. So I come up a needle width above the top, and then I come down on the side, and then I do it on the bottom. Some threads fighting on the back. Oh, I don't want that on the top. If you happen to ever pull other threads to the top and you can't get them out, just clip it off. So again, we're going up to the side on the line, pull down. Then I'm going to squeeze one more stitch up here on the top because I know I need one more on the bottom. So I think my line was just slightly off-centered or something along those lines, but I want to fill in this spot right there. Feels good. And then we go again down on the side. Then we come up on the bottom, fill in that last little bit of the corner, and down on the side. Now we're going to follow this same method, but we're going to change our up points from being on the side to being upon on the horizontal lines. So now I'll come up just under the satin stitch there, along the top, and down along the bottom. And we alternate, so that means we now come up on the bottom right above the satin stitch and go down on the top. And we're just going to keep following this method, going up on the bottom and then up on the top and then on the bottom. Just alternating our sides. You see when I pull my needle here, I can see a little bit better where I came up, so it's always good to check and see where you are. Now in another second here, I'm going to be coming up around these existing down points in our stitch rather than just next to the satin stitch. And this is important because this is what's going to give it the raised appearance that we want, is because we're now stitching over all of this stitch buildup here. So I'm going to put my needle right here on the top, and I'm going up and around the stitches right there. I'm not trying to add any width, just not catch the thread ends is what we're going for. And then I do the same on the bottom. Going right around the stitches and down on the top. And I'm going to continue this process all the way across, and then we'll talk about how to finish the end. Let's check in real quick for a second. So if you ever feel as you're stitching that your lines are starting to get shorter, that your X's are going from wide X's to tall skinny X's, start making your stitches a little farther apart, your needle points here on the bottom, and elongating that X just a little bit every stitch. And pretty soon you'll be back to longer stitches, which will help the stitch stay even all the way across, because we started with longer stitches. So again, I'm going to take another little bit longer than 4 stitch and then keep going. I have made it to the far side, and you can see that my stitches are now coming right to the edge. So I'll stitch out that top and bottom edge as far as I can, and then I think I can get one more and make that go all the way across. I'm going to keep coming up as I normally would on the sides, but then I'm going to stitch down the edges just to kind of bring this pattern we're making, this texture on the top, to a nice finish. So I'll add another stitch here and probably put that here, and then you can see at this point everything's covered. Our pattern has a nice finish on the edge, and we have made raised fishbone all the way across. I hope that helps and that you have fun stitching your hoop.